Yo, I'm Widget. All things considered, I'm a bad artist. Not just from results, but from mental situations too. I'm going to give you something that's interesting as a way of learning how to improve your art mental, and in the same way, will improve mine. Be real. We've all had those moments where we get super angry about our art. It looks bad, the eyes are asymmetrical, and some guy goes, "Hey, I want my OC to be drawn," and then you draw it and it looks like ass. Maybe you're going through exactly what I'm going through and you're trying to hold back tears because you're trying to make a good drawing and nothing's going right for you and you just want to collapse and nobody in the artist Discord server is giving you any help towards your mental. So you've gone onto YouTube to look for mental support and you watch videos that are tailored towards working in the industry, when in reality you just want to get good at making anime boys and girls. That's what I'm going through as I'm writing this script. This is recorded like 2 months later, so I'm not exactly at that level right now, but after watching a couple videos from Pika, I'm now in the mental state to make a YouTube video. So what I'm going to do is give you do's and don'ts for learning art that I've either been taught, learned, or done what I think is the most mentally healthy option for me. And that's an important part because this is how it works for me. This might not be how it works for you, so take your time to decide or figure out what is your most comfortable way of learning, because you might be different to me. And if there is a professional artist out there who thinks otherwise to my views, please let me know in the comments. I'd love the slander, because I'll take any advice from people actually qualified to make art tutorials. Number 1, learn how you want to. What this means is you go into an art Discord and you're like, "Hey, can someone help me learn art?" Either that, you start venting about how you're bad at art in the art channel, and some guy gives you a Mark Brunette video, and that video is about learning anatomy. However, his video on anatomy requires you to know about the process explained in a completely different video, and that requires you to practice stuff that maybe you don't want to. Speaking from personal experience, I hate anything to do with exercises and studies. Yeah, I know that's gonna rile up most of the professional art community, but hear me out. In Mark Brunette's drawing schedule that takes you through the fundamentals of learning to draw through a whole year of practice, those first 2 or 3 months have you tracing out poses from this app that grabs random naked people so you can reference anatomy and posing, which I think is boring. I'm here to tell you that if you don't want to do that shit, don't do it. If an artist tells you it's mandatory to improve, they're speaking from their learning experience. That doesn't mean that it should be the same as yours. Instead, use art tutorials as something to come to when you get stuck. I remember when I was drawing one of my proudest artworks that I'll show right here, that I found myself searching up a Mikey Mega video. Even though I don't usually use his art tutorials since they're geared around making suggestive or PG-13 art, his video on body structure using basic shapes helped me a lot to understand what artists mean when they say the rib cage is an egg. An age? What? TLDR, learn in a way that you think is the most fun, which brings me to my second point. Number 2, just draw. Now I don't mean draw every day and you'll improve. Understand that many professional artists hate this mentality. While I'll argue that while drawing every day certainly helps, what I mean is don't draw for the sake of drawing or for the sake of improvement. Draw because you want to. Make yourself a list of things you want to draw, and if you get the desire to draw it, do so. Want to illustrate your friends' OCs as fighting game characters by adapting their face claims? That's what's happening in the background right now. Don't say, "I'll do it when I get better," or "but I'm not going to be good enough to do it." Use it as an excuse to learn. You are gonna be bad. You are gonna be bad. Not for weeks, not for months, but for years. I don't want to dishearten you, but if you find the prospect of not being good at art for another several years to be mentally draining, you need to take a serious think about your mindset. If you have a project that will take several drawings, just do it and improve naturally. Hell, making this video is basically me having an excuse to practice my art. Drawing is a creative skill. It's a passion. Now they say AI art doesn't have a soul, and then you might look at it and go, "But that looks way better than mine and I can see all the expressions that they created and all that stuff." What they mean is that AI art is lacking that creative passion that an artist gives what they draw. It technically isn't art because it hasn't been made. It's been generated. Also, it just looks like the most nothing art style ever. Additionally, drawing because you want to puts you into a more creative mindset. You might see an art you created and you obviously don't like it because it looks horrible, but a few days later you go, oh wait a minute, that's why the art sucks. It's because his head is too oblong. And then in your next art, your brain will remember you of this critique and you'll try fixing it in your next art, even if it also looks horrid. Number 3, tame your ego. This is something that happened to me before I began writing the scripts. I've made some good progress. My latest artwork was this one, something I used for an Art Nights roleplay server. His name is Barstool. Say hi to Barstool. I'm pretty proud of it. It's not bad. Someone reminded me that I've come far since I started, and I looked back and saw my first artwork and was like, yeah, I've come far. This was not a good thing. It boosted my ego. I got overconfident. And when I drew again, I made this. It shattered my pride, I spiraled, I got more frustrated with each artwork that didn't turn out properly, and it got to the point where I threw all of my drawing equipment across my room and curled up into a ball on my bed. I'm fine now, don't worry. But I'm guessing this may have happened to you before. It might not have, or it may not have at the same scale, and no, I can be a bit exaggerating, but I'm guessing if it hasn't, you're not on this video. I suppose in this way, you can compare this sort of spiral to the 5 stages of grief. Denial. You're confident that your art is going to turn out great, and even if you're noticing a couple mistakes, or maybe you're just unsure of a piece of work, and while you've searched up a reference, it still doesn't look right. But you'll put it off. It'll turn out fine when you finish your sketch, right? Anger. This is basically after you've finished your art, and you're pretty much in shock of how completely dog water it turned out. Maybe you compare it to another artist who was harsh on himself, and then realise that his art is still completely better than yours ever was. You'll get frustrated at your crap art. Maybe you'll try drawing more and nothing turns out well. You'll probably realise you're not in the right mindset to draw, but you couldn't just go without drawing because you want to get good. Bargaining. This is less desperate bargaining and more desperation, if I'm honest. You crave help, but you can't reach it anywhere. You'll search on YouTube videos and you can't find anything. Then that one shows up, hopefully this one, and you'll go into depression. This is pretty much while you're watching the video. For me, it was Picat's video. As I was watching it, I was like, damn, that's me. The video I was watching also had Picat talk to her chat, and as I was hearing their own issues, which also made me go, damn, as I was watching, I finally learned acceptance, the final and most important part. You'll realise I am bad at art, but you know what? I'm going to get better. Just as I've always aspired to. But it won't matter that I'm bad, because I know that with each drawing, even if it's complete dog water, it's how I improve. That's a very optimistic way of saying your new mindset after your episode, but basically all you need to remember is that while you may have come far, you're still on step 4 on a million stair step case, and that's okay. And if you are on step 4, good for you! I'm on step 3. Number 4, other artists. Okay, so I'm still going through this one myself. It's kind of hard to make a good point about this, so it's kind of going to be a bit of a useless yap. Basically, try not to judge yourself to artists better than you. You're a lot less experienced than them, and try not to get too heated when they're hard on themselves, something you can't even fathom of doing. Not to mention, stuff can just really make you jealous, and I mean really jealous. I have a friend called Little Clevy. He's one of my best friends in the artist community. Not exactly with an art style I want, but I can acknowledge that it is a good art style. So good, in fact, that when he made a drawing about Project Wingman, the company itself started following him. It then got voiced by Dead Hosey,
what did you do to
and
Andrew?
Then Crimson One voiced the lines.
Your sister. You should be watching out for him too. He's better off without you anyways. You solely are responsible for this, and for several other problems which have been brought to my attention and will be addressed shortly.
I don't know what kind of world I live in where a guy I met on Discord or roleplay server, whose username is derivative of an Azure Lane character he has not drawn in ages, if at all, is somehow able to make a video that gets the attention of Crimson Goddamn One. Did I mention that Heartbreak Juan is in this server? This dude is the one singular reason why I think it's possible to become an established manga artist without drawing your own homework folder. The artists in this server are super good with years and years of experience, and they're constantly posting their artworks, and it is disheartening. But we can flip that round. If you're in a server with friends who are good artists, we can turn that jealousy around. We can use them. Now I know that sounds malicious and selfish, because it is, but ignoring that for the moment, What if you use these experienced artists who you know, trust and are friends with to get critique for your art? Remember that these guys went through the exact same learning journey you have. They know the techniques, the ins and outs of art that you fail to grasp, and because they're your friends, you'll subconsciously take their advice with a lot more enthusiasm. So there you have it. That's pretty much everything I have to say if you're an artist going through the dumps right now. Kinda just like I just had before I started writing the script. To summarize everything I told you, learn how you want, not how people tell you. Don't make excuses not to draw. If you want to draw something, draw it, even if it turns out crap. You can come back to it if you're confident enough, and if you want to redraw your art, which I might do myself actually. And those in the art community aren't your bigger Damn it! I went so long without messing up my lines. I'm just going to continue. Remember that you have a long way to go before you get good, so don't let your ego get too big. And those in the art community who are better than you aren't your enemies. They are your salvation as a beginner artist. Not a bad one, but a beginner one. Also, by the way, I began writing this on the 24th of April. It is now the 7th of July when I finished this art. I took a hiatus from drawing for about 2-ish months because there were just other responsibilities pelting me and it basically killed all my hobbies. I don't draw, I don't practice guitar, I stopped editing YouTube videos, I hit writer's block, and now 2 weeks into the summer holiday I was like, I should start doing stuff again. So I'm pretty sure I've regressed in drawing skills, so I probably won't be making anything like this for a while. We'll see. Was there anything I missed? Oh right, never give up. Keep drawing. You want to get good, right? Then start that long journey, Sisyphus. Your pencil is the pencil that will pierce the paper. Do the impossible. See the invisible. Row, row, fight the power. 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 Row, row, fight the power.